Welcome and bienvenue and welcome back to the modding of Isaac with Lyte. And today, we're gonna make some noise. That's right, we're inserting new sounds and new music into the game using the fancy new Lua that's available to us after this first booster pack. So new sounds, new music. There's a little caveat on the music, but we'll get to that in a moment. For now, let's check it out. Head on into a new run. Let's use Maggie for a change. She seems like a boisterous lady. And now we start our run with this party horn just sitting in the middle of the room. You've never played with one of these? You go to a party, it goes, it's exactly what this is. So we pick it up. And we've got new music, just from having picked up an item. Wonder what happens when we hit the spacebar. That's right, just makes a weird party horn noise. Doesn't do anything else. But as the music goes along, we can play along with our mountains upon mountains of musical skills. It's actually kind of in tune with the brass in there. And by the way, music provided from incompetech.com, Kevin MacLeod, royalty-free music. It's really quite lovely. This one's called One-Eyed Maestro. Oh, I love that. Bet you didn't think that much effort was put into those party horns, but there it is, nicely in tune with the music in our background. Now, there is one itsy-bitsy little issue regarding the music. When you change rooms, it restarts. At least the way I have it coded. Normally, it would just stop and go back to the normal floor music. The level music is overriding. It conquers all. The music manager is, at least currently, designed to replace the music for an event, for something that happens in a room, whether you're fighting a boss, whether you just finished fighting a boss, whatever it is, it's only temporary. It's not meant to continue from room to room to room to room and replace the music of the level. It's meant solely to heighten the drama of a room. Now, the code I'm going to show you is going to keep repeating it room after room after room. But if you want to trigger it for a particular event, it'll be very easy to adapt. So let's head over to the code, see how it all works, and listen to the lovely stylings of Kevin MacLeod. So, making this mod is pretty much like every other mod. You start off with a folder, content, resources, main.lua. In your resources, you've got 3 folders this time. One for the GFX items collectibles for our party horn. As always, it's an item, it needs an image. Music and SFX would be the same as previous times where we replaced the music or sound effects from the base game, but this time we're adding new ones. Again, it's in resources, not content, because whenever you pull any sort of graphical or auditory resources, it looks in resources, not content. So in music, we just have oneeydmaestro.ogg. Gotta use the Ogg Vorbis format here. Probably doesn't enjoy anything else. Haven't tested it though. We'll look into that. Then, for the sound effects, likes wave files. So partyhorn.wave. So we got party horn and we got One-Eyed Maestro in these folders. Then over in content is where you add the XML that tells it about the new stuff. And main.lua is our same old main.lua. So if we head over into Notepad++, we've got our items.xml here, standard part where it starts, standard active item named party horn, description makes noise, followed by the image and how many charges. It's a 0 charge item, you just hammer the spacebar and it goes, okay. Items, super simple, we've done them before, works the same way as always. Sounds.xml, slightly different. In the one from resources, let's see if we can grab that real quick. Sounds.xml here, each sound has an ID, and then the samples. So you have several samples if you want to play different sounds each time. So I could have gotten like 7 different party horn noises and gone if I wanted to. Too much work for just a tutorial item. Now, if you look here in sounds.xml that I made, we replaced the ID with the name because we're going to be referencing these in the code by their name instead of some ID number, because the ID will be assigned at runtime. And you don't put the name in the sample because you don't want to reference a particular sample. You want to reference the sound itself. And then here for the sample, the weight, just how often it should do one versus the others. Just have it be weight 1. You don't need it to be fancy otherwise. And then the path is the name of your file, partyhorn.wave. Good with the sounds? Keep this root the same. This is just telling it where to find your sounds. Next up is music. Music, root is music. Great. I commented out the basement and delirium here such that you could see the 2 main types of musics. There's the delirium fight. It's just a single track. There's no layers. There's no intros. It's just a piece of music. Sort of like One-Eyed Maestro is. It's just one single piece of music, no extra stuff. However, if you want to be fancy, and if at some point we do get to add level music, here we've got basement, and then we've got the intro, and we got the layer intro, and we've got the path, and we've got the layer, that when it gets more intense, you can add things on top of it. It's really nice if you've got a longer form track and you want to add even more variety to it by repeating it with something on top. But for now, we just have a track named One-Eyed Maestro, the path, oneeyedmaestro.ogg, and we do, in fact, loop it. So that's how we define our music and how we define our sounds. Now let's go to the code and see how to make them actually happen. Now here's how you can get to Kevin MacLeod's stuff. Creative Commons. A lot of people have used his music for various things. I was introduced to him through various Minecraft things, but it's all free to use. They just like making music. I think they might also sell some things, but I haven't actually checked. So, here we are, standard things. Mod, register, mod, noise, fine. Game is game, yes. Music is music manager. Open and close these parentheses because you're constructing it. And then sound is SFX manager, same thing here. Just to make it nice and short to type later. We're doing our standard thing of setting collectible type, where we make it the global thing in case, and for consistency's sake. All the other collectibles are in collectible type, we're putting ours there too. Isaac, get item ID by name, party horn, because that's what we said in the XML. Sound effect dot sound party horn for consistency. Get sound ID by name, party horn. You'll catch on to the naming convention here in a second. Music, music, Maestro. Isaac dot get music ID by name, One-Eyed Maestro. So whatever you put in the name for your sound, whatever you put in for the name for your music. Okay. So that's just initializing it, getting their ID numbers. Then we need to be able to use our party horn. So function mod use party horn. When you use a use item callback, you have 2 parameters that are sent back. What it was that was used, and the RNG object in case you need to roll some dice. Here we don't need either. All we do is take the sound, it's our SFX manager, and say, play our sound effect. How loud? I always forget what the second thing is. So we come in here, and we go to SFX Manager, and we zoom it in so you can read it. Frame delay. It's how much you want to delay before actually playing the sound, and then you decide whether or not to loop and at what pitch to play it. So we could just randomize the pitch here and have it sometimes go, but we don't need it. We really don't. So this is just playing your party horn sound. We've played sounds before. This time we're playing our own, which we got from Get Sound ID by Name. So this is the entirety of playing that sound. And this is all we need for playing the music, and a lot of it isn't even playing the music. So we have another P-Effect update, like we've used millions of times. We get the player, even though we only use it for one thing. So on frame count 1, we summon our party horn, because I always do. I like having it on the ground. This is one Isaac.spawn. Uses pickup, collectible, party horn, middle of the room, isn't moving, nothing summoned it. Good. Then one if statement. If music, so that's our music manager from up here. Get current music ID, so what's playing, is not equal to music.music Maestro. Now there's one thing to note. If we go to music manager, these IDs are capitalized. Capital I, capital D. Capital I, capital D. Whereas here, get music ID, lowercase d. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a huge difference. One way it runs, the other way it doesn't. So make sure, up here, capital I, little d, down here, capital I, capital D. So you check if our music is not playing. And the player has our active item. So player get active item equals our active item. So if it's not playing our music, but we do have our item, then we tell it to play our music. So music, which is the music manager, play our music at volume 0.1. Now, there's a little problem with this. And it's actually kind of a big problem. How about I put 0.5 there? So we'll save it. We'll head back on into Isaac. We will reload the mod and walk into this room. It's louder, yeah? Now let's go to our options and check our music volume. I'm at tick 1. If I click to the right, it should make it louder, shouldn't it? Oh, it made it softer. Well, because you're playing it at 0.5, which is up here. But my options say to play it at 1. So do we have access to what the user has selected for their music volume? Because we kind of need it if we want to use that play function properly. We don't want to blast their ears out if they want their music at level 0.1 instead of 0.5 or 1. So combine that with it not playing when you change rooms. That's some minor problems here. Not conforming to that, for me, is a bigger problem than not going between rooms. I mean, it's designed for in-room music. But being able to counteract a user's actual decisions? I don't know about that. But the other, well, 2 of the other functions are fine. Crossfade and Q, I haven't actually worked with Q, but crossfade does respect the user's wishes. It doesn't have a volume that you set, and so it just takes whatever was set as gospel. But fade in and play, you tell it how loud to play, and you don't know how loud they want it. Mildly problematic. But we can play the music. We can play the sounds. We can add new ones, as many as we want. So if you really wanted to make that fartin' mod, but didn't want to remove all of the other great sound effects, now you can do it. I'll take it back into the code in case you missed anything, but this one's another very short one. There's not a whole lot of code that goes into playing these things. It's just up to you as the modder to decide when do you play the sound effects, when do you play the music. So if you've got yourself a fancy room that needs some fancy music, now you don't have to replace anything to do it. But that's all I've got for this episode. I will see you in the next episode of the Modding of Isaac with Lyte.